You stupid bitch. Yeah, you're a stupid bitch. You stupid bitch.
Welcome to a very special episode of Stupid Bitches Say What, getting to know your hosts, Sean Bino Hipkins.
Did you hear my hiccup throughout that?
I actually did.
Maybe we need to
And
do
that
that again.
fucking intro was perfection too, by the way. Fuck you. Okay, ready?
Sorry.
Ready? Welcome to a very special episode of Stupid Bitches Say What, getting to know your hosts, Skye. Fuck you. You fucked me up. Okay. Okay, reset. Welcome to a very special episode of Stupid Bitches Say What, getting to know your hosts, Sean Bino Hipkins.
And Skye Collett. Listen in as these stupid bitches banter about some fun facts and history throughout their 20 years of friendship. What are you drinking, Skye?
Well, as you know, Bino, I am drinking a beer. I'm drinking a Stella Art
Stella!
which I think is known in lots of English places more than it is in Australia. And it's something that I carried from my time living in England many, many moons ago, because I've been day drinking. I've been drinking all day. So
What
I
was
have.
it known as in Europe?
I think, is it politically correct for me to say what it's known for in Europe, or are we going to have to cut this?
It's known as a blue bond singlet.
Yeah, a wife beater.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
I was trying
actually
not
going
to
to
say it.
that, and then I thought, fuck, if I say it, you're going to have to fucking cut it out. But yes, I believe, and look, as politically incorrect as it is, I think it's known as the wife beater, which Australians can also relate to in terms of dress.
It's a classy beer over here. A Foster's is known as a wife beater over here, which is known as a
quite
quality
expensive
beer.
in Australia.
I
But
know.
I do love a Stella. No one else loves a Stella in Australia, like I do. And whenever I buy them, people are like, "What are you drinking? That beer tastes like piss." And I'm like, I love it. It's very strong though. But that's what I'm drinking because I can't drink any more wine because I'm too drunk. What are you drinking, Bino?
Your tears. I am drinking wine. I'm sticking to the theme. I'm drinking Boy Meets Girl, a 2020.
Had it. I've had it before. I've had it.
Yes, well, this is definitely an Angel Naked Wines one.
Oh,
I've had it many times. Again, it's another 2020. Obviously, my vintage doesn't go beyond fucking last year. But it's a Cab Merlot.
People, we're super poor.
It's a Cab Merlot, this one.
Oh, he's on the reds again.
Yeah, well, look, it's Calabral.
Change it up a little bit. It's always the reds with you. I've had red for the first week. I had a cheeky little white Pinot, and now I'm on the beers.
Oh, well, you have always enjoyed variety, which is known as the spice of life.
Spicy.
I'm just a constant, as I said in the first one.
Constant disappointment, is that what you're going to say?
That's what my mother would. Mum, I'm joking.
Your mother loves you. She adores you.
She loves me the most. And I
more about that later.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, a little bit of fun. So we are now on our third week of recording, and it's not gotten old for us, so I hope it hasn't for anyone else.
We are loving ourselves sick, like absolutely loving ourselves sick. We just think that we should have done this 10 years ago.
Well, we should have broken the market with it, really. No one else would have been successful afterwards.
We'd be billionaires by now.
I know. But last Saturday, we launched our Insta and our Facebook page, which was very confronting for me anyway. I don't know how you felt about it. I felt very vulnerable, felt very scared doing it, hit send, panicked.
Was just pure red hot excitement for me. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit.
Well, you did want to launch the fucking pilot that evening as well. I'm like, hold up, cool your jets. We're not there yet.
This is why we work, because we just balance each other out.
We do balance each other up. She's a red hot goer and I'm a cold blue knower.
That was hilarious. I love that.
We're
Don't
gonna
cut
keep
that
that
bit.
in.
Don't cut that bit. See,
But
guys, what you have to realize is that we've gone through 2 weeks now of editing. So we've come to realize what should be cut and what shouldn't be cut. And it's hard. I'm telling you, it's really hard to decide what should stay and what should go. And it should all stay.
I know, except
Whether or not people like it or not is the
except for
question.
bits that need to go. But anyway, so exciting news. We are at 61 likes on our Facebook page in less than a
Shut
week.
the front door.
I wish I could report that it was 69 because you know what's
69
on
dinner
a dinner for
two.
two, and on a scale of one to 100, how immature are you? 69.
Fancy dinner for two.
Well, it depends if you've trimmed or not.
No, it
Otherwise, it's just bush tucker.
doesn't. Common among the grass.
But anyway, yeah, I got the notification today. Your page has reached 50 likes. It's like, OMG. Then just before logging in to our session tonight, I had another quick look, and it's at 61. We'll be at triple figures soon. And yes, these are all people I know, but who gives a fuck? Did you notice that somebody
Mostly
named...
family.
Did you notice? Oh, there's...
Some Aussie. Some Aussie people.
It's a bit of pussy hair, cat hair. But I did notice that we've been getting...
Sorry, guys, we're pretty drunk.
Look, I'm on my third drink, to be fair, and I had 2 pints fucking 2 hours ago.
You drunk a lot. You drunk off me. The fumes of me
off Skye
across state lines.
through the interweb.
The dirty web.
The dirty, dirty web. But yeah, it's been kind of exciting. I've noticed when you get a new like or a comment and people that you know but don't really communicate that much with saying, oh my God, I can't wait for this. It's like, oh my God, neither can I. Can I? And same with Instagram.
We've got a lot of requests for guest spots too.
Okay, so we're just going to put this out there. No guests. Ever.
We are enough. We identify with the fact that we are enough.
It took enough for me to invite Skye to this podcast.
Fuck you.
I'm not inviting anyone else.
Dude, this is my idea, you fucker.
No, this would only work between me and Skye. And like, while we do appreciate that people are enthusiastic about wanting to be involved, if you send in your suggestions for a taboo topic Tuesday, you may get your name mentioned in the podcast. It's as best as I can do.
Maybe.
Maybe. Listener one suggested that
we joke. We love all our friends and family. They are the best in the world. That's why we are the people that we are. We're very fortunate.
And very well loved. Okay. So this week, well, this special episode, as Skye mentioned, we're going to be talking about how we get to know each other, or how you guys can get to know us more, for those who are just listening for the first time and have no idea who the fuck we are. Skye, would you like to commence, or am I commencing? What was the deal?
I feel like you're commencing, but I have a little bit of a tiny summary about you, and then I have some... It's hard because there's so many things to sift through, but I thought let me give a little snapshot of who you are, okay?
Okay, before you do that, just FYI, I just stuck to the brief and had 3 points. I didn't do a summary. So I'll do my best as you talk in yours to think about what I can say.
Look, I'm always thinking outside the box and pushing the boundaries, as you well know, so that's okay.
Oh, that was one of my points.
Well, now you have to fucking come up with another one. Don't you dare just go with 2 points now. You think of 3.
It wasn't one of my points.
You tell wonderful things about me for at least 3 topics.
All right.
Okay, so summary is he has 2 brothers and a mother he adores and is the funniest fucker I know. Also, he can drink like a motherfucking fish. I can drink a lot of people under the table, but if there was a competition between the 2 of us, he would always win.
Stop it. That was the most beautiful thing anyone's ever said about me.
I thought you'd like that.
So that's your actual summary of.
No, that's not my. That's my lead in to the point. But I'm
So your
trying to
sum-
decide
so your
which.
summary is he's got siblings and a mother, and he drinks a lot of piss. I
That's
like
one
it.
way
I
of
like
looking
it.
at it.
I like it.
Um. Well, maybe I've got 4 points then. Really. Okay, I'm going to lead into the next one. Sean has 2 cats that he rescued. They are the most beautiful baby girl sisters, completely incomparable to the psycho kitten that I rescued, who attacks me regularly.
Is that a fact about? Is that one of your points?
Yeah, that's the
Can we
combined point.
can we expand on that? So I'd like to just announce that my 2 beautiful daughters, who I birthed 7 years ago,
Little baby girls.
they fell out with a sneeze. Stripey Tigress and Lioness Cream are their full names. They started off as Pee-wee and Mittens, I think, were their names
No,
for the
that's not
adoption
it.
agency.
That's not what they
No,
started with. There was a different
that's
name before then.
I know my children, Skye. That's what the adoption agency had given them as names, and then we named them Shuggy and Boogie.
That's it.
And then
That's it. That's what I was thinking of.
And then we realised that they were getting confused as to who was Shuggy and who was Boogie, and so was
That's
Vinny and
not
I.
true. They came up with names that they liked better. That's a fucking
And
lie.
then one drunken night, I remember standing in the lounge room and I was talking to Vinny about how the cats were like my superhero cats. Do you remember He-Man and fucking the Battle Axe cat or whatever it is?
Yes, I do
And
recall.
so that's when we
Vividly.
became. So I was Feline Fag was my supervillain name with my sidekick Stripey Tigress,
I
Linus
also
Cream.
recall this vividly. I remember the night that it happened.
They had a theme tune as well. It was Stripey Tigress, Linus Cream. Why don't you get him, girls? But remain unseen. Remain unseen. Remain unseen.
Look, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were going to go that way because I actually forgot all about that. That's not what I wanted to uncover when I touched on that point, because I feel like the fact that you have these cats that you adore sums you up in some ways, but I forgot there was a theme song. I forgot all about that. Thank you for sharing that with the world. It's out there now. Can't take it back.
Theme tune. Theme tune, not song. Tune.
Oh my God.
And so they had that name from when they were 6 months old, but they actually answer to it too. I'll see if one will answer. Stripey Tigress.
They don't. But if anyone who's a cat owner will understand that cats really don't answer to their names.
Ours
unless
they're house cats. They greet us at the door and everything.
My cat's a semi-house cat. The only thing they answer to is
your
food.
Your cat is a fucking wildebeest. It's like a panther. It's the size of a panther.
I know. Well, I didn't want to go into this, but this is part of the comments that I made, is that he is actually the domestic violence cat. So when I first moved down here...
Give him a Stella.
When I first moved in, not to offend anyone, which was about 4.5 years ago, one of my first friends that I met, who I'm still really good friends with now, I went over to her house and I was covered in scratches, and she was like, "What's going on?" And I said, "Oh, look, it's my cat." And that was not an isolated incident. That happened so many times, and I constantly have scratches up my legs and up my arms when he just really hates me if I haven't fed him on time, or I've like not given him enough attention, or generally if I'm walking upstairs, he doesn't really like it. So he will attack me in a very, very brutal way.
It is quite a psycho cat. I remember Vinny patting him when we came down to visit you once. And he was snuggled in against Vinny up on the couch. Vinny's rubbing him, and then within 2 seconds, the claws are out around Vinny's hand. It was biting into Vinny's hand. Vinny's like, "What the fuck? What's going on?"
It was a rescue from a kitten. I rescued him from a tiny baby, and he is
Where did you rescue him from?
From a rescue place, like a RSPCA place. Yeah. Not your cats, though. Your cats are beautiful. How did that happen?
They look beautiful, but they're still jerks. You haven't heard Linus in the morning. As soon as I get up, meow, meowing. I'll film it and I'll post it. She screams at me until I take her out into the balcony and give her a rub down. And I mean, meows go for like this. constantly. I could be on the shitter. We've got a sliding door between the bathroom and the bedroom. Little paw comes in, wife smashes the door open, exposes me to the fucking blocky units across the road, and she's meows until I fucking pat her.
They're so demanding, aren't they? They can just be so horrible, kitty cats. But we love them, so I would never trade him for the world. I love him, adore him, even though he makes me bleed a lot.
They're our family. We love a little slash.
Okay, do me now. Right. It's my turn, please. Okay.
So my first point is something I touched on in the pilot episode, but Skye is a accomplished author, publishing her own book, Single Writer, and she's also a winner of a short story award that she wrote about her grandfather.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
You did not.
Actually did, because I've just recently come to terms with all my writing stuff because I realized my book's not available anymore for people who want to buy, because you can get it as an ebook but you can't get it in print because they shut it all down. I can get it all set up and all that. We can get it done.
We'll get this on our socials, people.
I did leave it to the wayside for a couple of years. I've been busy with other stuff and it wasn't lucrative.
Shit happens. Yeah, totally.
But I forgot about it. I love that story that I won.
That fucking book.
Yeah.
Tell us about the story again. What was it?
Which one? The book or the one about my grandparents?
The award.
It was just a story that I'd had in my head for a really long time about my grandparents. And my grandfather actually passed away last year. And I moved to the Central Coast to, spend a bit of time with them because he had been quite sick and my nan was really struggling. And they just have this crazy love story. That's where my tattoo comes from, True Love, this one.
Ah. Yeah. Is that the one that Danny from Survivor has as well?
Or? No, this is the one that bitch has. She has it on her arm in a different order.
Oh, wow. The love heart. You need to explain.
I think she had the peace and the love and the music maybe, or it wasn't in the same order. And I was very irked by that, I must say. I thought my tattoo was original. I just got it myself. But yeah, no, this tattoo was from my grandparents, which is the story because I even though my grandfather, who passed away, it was my nan's second marriage, they had a crazy love story where they were just, so in love, even for the 5 years that he was really, really sick and she looked after him. And that's what I wrote that story about. And that's what I won the prize for. So, yeah. But I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. It's a really nice memory.
Oh, trust me, the other ones aren't as good.
Probably going to be.
Well, they are as good, but they're probably just not as sentimental.
Oh, so it's my turn? Okay. All right. So, I'm going to say that, okay, so I'm going to parlay this into 2 points because it's enough for 2 points, but I'm going to say that first of all, we became friends in about 2001, I think, because we both have different recollections about how our friendship started. And I think it was about 2001 because I was living abroad. You lived abroad later after me, but I was living abroad before I met you, but we went to the same high school.
Did I go to your farewell? No, I went to Nikki's farewell.
Yeah, that was different. Hutch went overseas just before I got married, my first marriage.
Right.
So that was about 2001 because I came back from the UK, and then we met, and it was our friend Grug, Christopher Vasalios. He was our link. He was the one who introduced us, and you guys were hanging out heaps. He's been a friend of mine forever, still friends with him now. And we started being friends. And I think one of the key things that really meshed our friendship was Australian Idol. And then I looked it up.
Oh my God, yes.
To see which, because I was like, well, how old is
it? Was Anthony Kalia and Casey Donovan season?
No, that was, I feel like that was.
Oh, no, you're wrong. You're right, yeah.
Skye Sebastian, wasn't it?
Yes.
No.
Because we both liked one of the dudes that didn't make it through.
And so
sang Angel.
we started having these dinners, even though we never came
Yes.
to the whole Survivor
No.
sweeps thing. That was much later. But our friendship started because we would have some dinners. We would get
Yes.
together
And watch.
Australian
Did you?
Idol.
Yeah.
But do you know there's a gap because the first episode of Australian Idol was 2003. So I have like mapped us back to us having to be friends from 2001, and there's a whole big gap between 2001 and 2003 to Australian Idol. So
Okay.
I don't know what we were doing during that time, but I can guarantee we were up to shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have
Cannot
no
confirm
idea.
or deny.
No, I'm gonna have to call some experts in and make them verify these things. The
If
dates.
everyone could just please hold while we just contact our experts, we won't be one day.
The gap that was presented by Australian Idol, but you were living in Coorparoo, remember? So I knew you before you were living
in Norman Park.
Sorry, excuse moi, Norman Park. You were living in Norman Park with Belinda Bossart, and who else lived there?
Just me and Belinda at first, and then Kylie moved in, and then Matt, I think, lived there for a week.
But I remember when you moved to that house. So I remember watching Australian Idol at that house.
Yes.
And I remember when you moved to that house. So we were friends before that. Look, I'm going to have to come back to you on this one.
Okay, we'll do a follow-up episode to this one. Shit, stupid bitches say.
See, shall we? We'll just research that a little bit more before we make any claims. I think he was.
We may cull this, and if we do cull this, that brittle bones comment was really interesting. Those who are listening, you don't know what we're talking about. But he had brittle bones.
I just always remember saying that.
Yeah, well, we served lasagna. Yeah, I thought you didn't like tray lasagna, Skye. You were like, no, it's fine. Don't embarrass me in front of my new friends.
I don't remember that. I love tray lasagna now. I don't remember a time that I didn't like it.
You do or you don't?
I love it. No. We get the Audi one all the time. I love the cheesy top.
Well, no, you got called out for this as we were serving it to you. Got there with the neck flip of it hovering above your plate going, oh.
Oh my God, I can't believe that. That was hilarious. I have to turn the fan on. I'm so hot in here. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Baby, would you mind getting me another beer? Thanks, Baba.
Next time you need to ask for another beer, you just need to go, Stella.
Well, I don't know if there's any Stellas left now. I think I'm going to have a Miller's. I'll drink a Stella if there's Stella, baby. If
You'll
not, a
drink a what?
Miller's.
A what?
Stella! Stella!
I'm just here. What? What is it? All right. So my second favorite, well, not my second favorite, but my second thing that sums up Skye is shots. So Skye,
this is unexpected. I've got to say, this is unexpected.
Skye will make you shoot the most miserable things ever, such as sparkly bubblegum vodka.
You loved that.
We threw out what you left here. We couldn't.
How wasteful.
She'll make you shot anything out of a flask, whether you're in the back of a taxi, walking the streets of Sydney, in a restaurant, in a theatre, anywhere her flask can appear. Straight. And she won't take no for an answer.
It's true, I won't.
And I mean that. Skye is what is known as an influencer.
A peer pressurer, if you will.
She will influence you against all will to open your mouth, tilt your head back, and swallow. That's how she rolls.
It's that meme, like the one where the person's like dying on the ground, and then there's the person like holding their hand, like pulling them up, going, "Get up, let's keep drinking." That's me.
I also did recall you mentioning earlier in this podcast, just have a shot and catch up to where I'm at. So that backs up my story.
Did you record that? I don't think so. I was pretty drunk.
I started recording 3 minutes and 50 seconds into our conversation because I was like, oh shit, there's material here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but I have to cut it. Here comes my bee.
So yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I got that recorded. And yeah, there'll be a whole part of the beginning will get cut out and maybe put into the workshop episode.
I love that you put that thing in about me and shots because it's very true. But also I hope that you're ready for when I move back to Brisbane and what's going to happen to your body.
I'm glad that you're going to be at least a 45-minute drive away from me. Which also translate into an expensive Uber/taxi fare.
That won't help you because I'll just come to your house.
We do live on the 3rd floor, and I know you know how to use a grappling hook, so I am scared.
And you know I will sleep anywhere.
See that? I was actually telling Vinny the other night, I can't remember who we were talking to about it, but I was saying when Skye was over here last one of the times when you were up, and I think we were doing some fucking drinking games, YouTube games, and I remember getting up to go to the bathroom at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and Vinny was in bed naked, and I walked out into the lounge room, and you were just passed out on the carpet, not a pillow, not a blanket, just flat on your back, snoring like nothing else. So yeah, she will sleep anywhere. But you're just flat on your back, and you'll content your arms down by your side too.
In my defense, a drinking night with them two is insanity because none of us ever say enough's enough. We just keep going. And there's always bottles and bottles of shots. And
thanks, Skye.
And the music always keeps things flowing.
The music does. And the conversation. And
because we miss each other, because since I've moved away, we've only have a very short snapshot of time to hang out, so we make the most of it. Vinny normally leaves us. He's done by a certain point. He reaches his limit. He's like, I'm out.
Run off. Yeah. He doesn't even say I'm out. It just goes.
And then we keep going until one of us is practically dead.
Or one of us shuts her eyes for a little bit longer than a blink, and the other one then just takes us as an opportunity to ghost bomb, smoke bomb. She's sleeping. Go.
You'd think we would know better at our age, but we don't.
I know. Well, to be fair, that was at least over 2 years ago. We were much younger then.
Tyler says to me all the time he's so worried about when he moves back, like the craziness. And I was like, oh, you have no idea. You have no idea the party nights we're going to have. Even that night when we came up and we went down to that place near your house and we walked for ages in the fucking heat. And it was so hot.
It's a 10-minute walk, people, 10 minutes.
It's not. It was about 20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes when someone stops every 200 meters and starts screaming at you. Yes, it does take longer.
It was fucking February in Brisbane, which is the hottest month of all the months in Brisbane. It was so hot we wanted to die. That was a crazy night. And my sister, who drove us and stayed with us and was sober the entire time, the stories that she tells about that night will truly blow your mind.
Oh, look, I've seen photos of when we were back here that I didn't even know happened. I thought we just came here, she got the keys and picked you and just drove you straight home, but no, we stayed here for a bit.
She tried to get us out of your place so many times, and then when she did, we got stuck in the apartments because we couldn't get down to the basement, and that happened for about half an hour, and then I dropped my bag, and my bag went between... Of course. My handbag, the contents of my handbag went between the elevator that we were in and the level.
Oh, no.
And then the elevator closed.
How? I've not heard this.
And I was like, it's cool. Don't need anything.
That
and
was
Sarah's like, I'm pretty sure your house keys were in there, Skye.
And your purse and your phone.
I have to go back up and get that shit. And I was like, it's cool, baby. It's cool. And she was driving the big four-wheel drive and I couldn't get into it. My leg wouldn't lift up because her four-wheel drive's so big. She had to push my butt into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you stupid bitch.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Let's go to point 3.
Okay, so point 3. Well, I've got 2 points left. I should have segued to.
I thought you said you were merging 2 points into one in the last point.
But then we keep getting stuck on 1 point. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this one. That time that you lived in Auckland. So, Bino moved to New Zealand to live de facto with Vinny because he had an Irish citizenship, and he had to live. Would you have to live de facto for 12 months to be able to apply for residency?
So when I met Vinny in Australia, he was coming up to the end of his working holiday visa. And so we had about 3 months in Australia. And at that stage, we thought it would just be a bit of fun. Well, I thought it would just be a bit of fun, but towards the end of it, we realized love is love, people. And we decided that if we wanted to make a go of it, we would plan in 6 months' time to live in New Zealand for a year together as a de facto relationship so we could apply for a de facto visa. The 6 months in between, Vinny moved back home to Ireland and we had a long distance relationship.
Remember that? That was
hard. We had a 6-month long distance relationship, which was longer than what we'd actually known each other before he left.
And with the time difference, we would get fucked up every weekend because Bino was trying to, get through the fact that he wasn't without the love of his life. And then we get drunk and coffee in the daytime. And Vinny would be like,
nighttime.
I can't talk to you anymore because you're all too fucked up.
But meanwhile,
I love you, but shut the fuck up.
I would also have to get up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning to have an hour Skype with him that would be at like 6 o'clock his time.
He'd be fucking blind.
Or, even during the week, and he'd be like, I'm staying at someone's house because, he would commute when he was where his work was. So I can only be 15 minutes because they're just about to do dinner. I'm like, bitch, I've just gotten up at 5 in the morning. We're either doing this or we're not.
And then they moved to Auckland, which I was devastated about because it was so far. And then the one time that I went to visit them, accidentally, I got there during the World Cup, Rugby World Cup, and I didn't even realise until this is how now I would totally know what's happening in the world with the Rugby World Cup because my partner is just obsessed with rugby and any type of football. But at the time I had no clue. And I don't believe the airfares being ridiculously expensive either. Like, I think they were reasonable because I was on a budget. I was just about to buy a house then. So I can't believe that they were so ridiculous that I couldn't, because I'd been to Auckland the year before you moved there. And so I got there and was completely oblivious to the fact it was the Rugby World Cup and you guys lived in the main street of Auckland City.
We did.
And it was World Cup all the time.
It was fantastic.
The streets were closed half the time. It was awesome. It was so cool. It was like one of those life events where I say to people, I was in Auckland for the Rugby World Cup of 2011 and people are like, oh my God, that's insane. I was like, yeah, I didn't know I was going to be there for it. It was accidental. I didn't see any of the football, but it was awesome. It was so cool.
Well, because on the street, so when we got there, it was like there was a big countdown down at the viaduct area, and it was like 100 days to the World Cup. And then I remember seeing that, and then it was starting to get a few days lower, and Vinny and I didn't have a place. So I started panicking. I'm like, we need something now before the prices just start going fucking through the roof.
Yeah.
And then we got a decent place and a decent price. I think it was like $300 or $350 a week, but it was on the main street of Auckland in Queen Street and right on that intersection. So for anyone who knows Auckland and Queen Street, the old Whitcoulls building, which is now Farmers, I think, or something like that, where the giant Santa used to get put up on the side of the building. We were in that building facing over to the main street, and he used to be able to stand out. Do you remember he'd all stand on the window ledge with their heads out the window
and see everything?
And they'd have little routines at that big main intersection. So when it was France versus somebody, they'd have the big intersection. They'd have all these French maids come out during the crossing and start doing a dance in the middle of the street.
And I
then
remember
there'd be
one time there was the haka right in the middle of
yes,
the street, and
yeah,
and the whole the streets were constantly closed down because of all the things, and we would just go out just to watch the exhibitions of everything. It was
yeah. It was
insanity. It was just such a
fantastic.
magical time.
It was the
And I remember
perfect year to
thinking,
be there.
how did I just end up here? Like, I can't believe I'm here at this time. And you guys were in literally the best spot that you could
Yeah.
ever be in for that to happen.
Yeah. And
there
just
was
watch
other
it from
parts of New Zealand that
course.
had it, but that was crazy.
Well,
And
that was where the live action was. And then when the New Zealand eventually won the World Cup,
yes,
when they won that session, and Mount Albert, I think it was, or Mount Eden, wherever they played it, was about a fucking 45-minute walk away, but everyone came marching from the stadium to the Queen Street and then marched down the Queen Street. And Vinny and I ran down and marched and did a block, came back, and our other friends ran down and did it. And then they had the parade up the street where Richie McCaw was holding the cup and all this shit. And we were just looking out the window. Oi,
Ireland got quite close, didn't they? They didn't make it to the end. They
didn't get as close as Australia, no.
No, but they still got there. And I remember you guys going to the pub one time just before we got there, and it was Ireland versus Australia.
Yeah, that was in the semis or the heats or the rounds. And Ireland beat Australia, which was fucking lucky for me because I went to Father Ted's pub, which was full of Irish. But we knew the people who ran the pub. And I was the only one there in the Australian jersey surrounded in the sea of green. And as I first walked in...
I wasn't there for that, but I remember the photos and I remember the stories.
I remember as soon as I first walked in, there was one guy that turned around and said to me, "What are you doing here? They're not going to serve you a drink. They're not going to serve you a drink." I was like, "Bitch, I know people." And then it was awkward as fuck because our other friends who were coming, Ashley and Neil.
It was Ashley and Neil. Yeah, I was just going to say, Ashley and Neil were there. So that's before they left to go back to Ireland.
Yes. And so we were waiting for them, and I was just standing there awkward as with Vinny, and I just went, fuck it. So I said to Vinny, take a photo, and I just turned around to these 4 fucking huge Irish guys, and I went, get in for a photo, and stood there and waved my flag while they all jumped in behind me going, and all that shit. But it just then broke that whole ice for everything, and then I was on people's shoulders. Thank fuck we lost. Because I would have been fucking dead. But when we lost, I was on people's shoulders. It was fucking great. It was such an awesome atmosphere and such a great time to be there. Yeah. It was a good time for you to come.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. And the other thing I was going to say about that, Link was 5. He was 5 years old. Can you believe that?
I remember him saying to you, he was playing Pokemon and he just used to always pass the Game Boy to you and say, "Mum, can you read this for me? Mum, can you read this for me?" "Sure, Baba. Sure, the Baba. I'll read that for you." "Can you read this for me? Can you read this for me?"
And Vinny just so putting him on his shoulders. He was a tiny, and he's like, he towers over me. He's like a million miles ahead of me. And he's such an almost adult now. And yeah, he was a baby. He was 5. He was just
so what? It was 10 years ago, literally.
2011. Yeah. Because
wow.
I looked it up because I was like, I need to figure out, because I think this is one of the things that is
important, relevant.
Yeah. But I still have one more, but you go next. It's your turn.
Okay, so my last point was, and it's funny because you sort of touched on this when you talked about your situation with Sarah, is what she's forever the optimist. Everything is in rose-colored glasses and everything is fine. And then we talked about when you dropped your bag halfway through the fucking elevator. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need that shit. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh, that's a really nice thing to say.
It's true. And when I was running it by Vinny earlier on, I'm like, okay, I need 3 things. So I'm thinking this, thinking shots, and I was thinking like the optimism, like that's everything's fine. He's like, yep, totally. Skye's cool as a breeze. Everything is just fucking fine. It's fine. You don't have any arms. It's fine.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
Just have another shot.
2 stubs up.
I'll feed it to you.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
Which is something that I'm renowned for doing, isn't it? Feeding people shots when they say no more, no more. And I'm like, let me hold your head.
Block their nose.
Take your medicine.
Take your medicine.
Mummy says you need some more.
He's a good boy.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, I'm going to finish the last one, even though I think I've done too many, but I just have to say this one. And this is something that I said in my wedding, my speech as a bridesmaid at your wedding 7 years ago, because I realised I forgot that there was an anniversary, but Mel said to me today, it's been 7 years, Skye, because they because I'm not on Facebook. And not that I didn't, it's not that I forgot, because
What?
I was there. But
Oh, the wedding.
yeah, the wedding what is the actual anniversary date?
20th of September.
And it's
So
been
4 days
7
ago.
years. Fucking
7
seven
years.
motherfucking years. That's
Yeah.
insane.
We were in Munich this time 7 years ago.
Oh, shut your
Beer
mouth.
testing.
And that's a whole nother story for another time. I forgot about that. It's so crazy. Time just flies. And the one thing that you guys need to know is that 7 years ago, it was illegal for gay marriage in Australia.
And Ireland.
It was in Ireland too. So we used to be very political and we campaigned a lot to try to get that changed, but it took a long time. So when Vincent and Sean first got married, they were legally prohibited.
It was a civil union.
So yeah,
we had a civil union, and so we had our big ceremony on a Saturday with all our friends and family that came from Australia and around the world, really, to go to Ireland to see it. But we had to officially do our signing of the papers in the clinic on the Wednesday, where people collect benefits and all that stuff. We had to go into the clinic, sign our papers on the Wednesday because they didn't do the signings on a weekend because it was a public service job. And then we got married, or had our civil union on the Saturday after we did the signing. But then we got officially married in Vegas in 2017 after the yes vote came through in Australia.
But Ireland made it legal before Australia did.
So Ireland made it legal through a referendum vote a year after Vinny and I had our civil union.
Yeah, which is, something that maybe we'll go through in one of our subjects later on. But
Totally.
It's really hard when you love someone and the world says that you're not allowed to marry them. Fuck them.
It is hard, yeah. But you know what? We pushed all that aside and we had a fucking beautiful day with all our friends, and Skye was one of our bridesmaids.
Yes. And then also, this is what I was going to say. So meeting Vinny, Sean showed me a picture of Vinny for the first time at a friend's 30th, and I said I thought he was weird looking and he should ditch him. He should ditch him, I said. And then the next time we went out, Vinny was supposed to meet with Bino, and Bino was supposed to meet with Vinny, and they ended up in really far apart suburbs, and Vinny didn't answer his phone, and I told Bino to ditch him again.
We were at fucking Wellington Point at that German restaurant. We're at the German restaurant next door, the house of...
ditch him. His shit, ditch him.
Bavarian something.
And then the first time I actually met him, I instantly loved him. Instantly. Yeah. I met him and I pretended to be someone else. Well, he thought... He came to a party at one of our friends' places and he thought the house belonged to me, and I played along because it was humorous, and because I thought you were
Kelly. He thought you were Kelly.
Yeah, and I didn't really know how to tell him that I wasn't. And then when I told him, we laughed a lot, and then I've loved him ever since.
Yeah, and he is a definite keeper. And as I hear, you stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch. But I think that's all our points.
That's our points. So that's some stuff about us that you'll get to hopefully know more about us as we go through these podcasts. We're always going to be able to share little anecdotal stories for our viewers' pleasure.
Yes, that's it.
So thank you very much for joining us on this. We're about to record our very first official episode this time next week. We're very excited.
That it is actually next Friday. So we've been doing this. This is our third Friday of doing this, and we look forward to it. We can't wait. But next week is D-Day. Is
D-Day. It's the actual real one. So this is good. So let's hope that we can maybe get to 100 likes before then. I'd love to report we're in triple figures by the time we do our first one. So I'll just keep inviting other people now. We've got a few other things that will be happening in between now and the release of our first episode. So hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Stay tuned for all the media, posts and the teasers and all the stuff that's coming, because we will introduce some webisodes bit by bit. There'll be the offcuts of the bits that we decide is a little bit too rude or a little
Risque.
bit too risque. We will still cut some of the really bad stuff, because sometimes we just go way across the line. But we'll keep some of the good stuff. We'll try to keep the good stuff in.
There'll be stuff
that'll be on our
remain.
YouTube channel.
Exactly. There will be stuff that remains on the cutting room floor. And only if you know us, you may get to see that. But don't forget to follow us on all our socials. So Stupid Bees Say What on Facebook. That's Stupid Bees Say What. B''S, not BEES. And also on our Instagram.
No buzz.
What's our Instagram? Is that Stupid Bees Say
Stupid
What?
B Say What. So stupid, then the letter B, say what.
And also, if anyone wants to email us any feedback or any suggestions for our taboo topics, you can email us at stupidbeesaywhat@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yes. Or any feedback. We're open to it. Whether we reply or not, who knows? But do it.
Yeah. We like to read about us. Whether we want to reply, meh.
No, maybe we should cut that. No, we will. We'll reply to everyone, but just be nice to us. This is our first time, okay?
Yeah, be constructive.
We're virgins.
Like, be honest, but be constructive.
We're
If you're just going to troll us...
We're just little kids.
Actually, maybe we should make that one of our policies. If you're going to troll us, we're just going to troll you back. So fucking...
I don't have the stamina to troll people back. I'm just not that mean.
We will
really
enlist one of
care.
our friends who was an awesome troller. You know who I'm talking about. I won't mention her name on air, but we'll get her to troll on our behalf.
We actually, that's a good point. We've got heaps of people who would do it for us.
Fuck with these trolls. You hear that, trolls?
F off. Yeah, effers.
You effer, you mother effer. All right, so it's been a moment, and I love this, Skye. And shall I stop recording now?
Yeah, do it. Good night.
Yeah, that stupid bitch. He's a stupid bitch. What a stupid bitch. That's stupid.